This is William Hall with Resist the Mainstream, and a mayor in Georgia was arrested for trespassing and burglary charges as well. Before we jump into this video, just a quick reminder to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so that you get notified when our videos go live. So let's jump into this story right here. So this is a mayor of Fulton, South Fulton, Georgia, and he was arrested on Saturday morning and charged with first-degree criminal trespass and burglary. So the mayor's name, Khalid Kamau, or Kamau, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, was booked into the Fulton County Jail on Saturday, but was released later in the day after posting $11,000 in bond. And this is a report according to Fox News, but the mayor reportedly entered a house that he thought was abandoned. Now, that doesn't make any sense at all, and that's exactly why. It doesn't really fit together. The story doesn't really add up at all. But here's a video of him actually getting arrested, or at this specific time when the police was actually were actually escorting him.
Mayor, why were you on that property?
I just wanted to see the house. I do apologize to the owners. I thought it was abandoned.
What do you say to your constituents?
I apologize for the negative attention this has brought to our city. But I hope that the spotlight that is on our city right now will highlight some of the inequities that have been happening.
So you're guilty of the charges?
I think that's for the voters to decide.
All right, so he mentions there, we're going to let the voters decide. But I think the reality is that for anybody that's actually paying attention here, it looks like he's guilty. I mean, I don't understand what this guy was doing, but obviously there's no way that he was up to any good in any possible way. So the homeowner reported on this, received a notification on his phone saying that there had been movement on his property before 7 a.m. So the homeowner called the police and then approached the mayor, and he was allegedly exiting the house and ordered him to stay put. So the homeowner basically said, hey, look, stay put, just sit here. The outlet says, to which the mayor replied, do you know who I am, right? I mean, this guy is incredibly pompous about who he is. He says, I'm the mayor, and I'll wait for police to get here and see what happens then, right? So this guy basically is saying, you know what? I'm an important person. There's no way that you have any authority for me to do anything, to tell me to do anything. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter who you are. There's a such thing that we call private property in which you just cannot walk onto that, trespass, and do these things. Doesn't matter who you are, right? But this guy is so arrogant, so full of himself, that's exactly the way that he's approaching this situation. So according to WSB, the mayor was on his way to a dog park when he made the stop, and his version of events describes that the homeowner telling him, no, MF this, and you stay right there, and threatening to shoot him, and he didn't listen. And then he said, are you going to shoot me while I'm walking away? The mayor reportedly asked. So that's basically what he's claiming, the mayor's side of events, which are entirely different than what the person that's a homeowner is saying in this situation. But reporters confronted him, and then he was escorted by police officers, which is what you just saw there. And so when he was asked while he was on the property, of course, he's saying he just wanted to see the house. Guys, listen, that doesn't make sense. You don't just want to see somebody's house and you just trespass on the property and think that you have every right to do so. That's not how that works, right? But for whatever reason, this guy thinks that it was just something that he could just do. Listen, I think that he was there for nefarious reasons. There had to be, he was up to no good. There's no way in which there was a situation when he meant all things being well, that approaching this house that did not belong to him, that really had no reason to be there, that for some reason that's perfectly fine. He had to be up to no good in this situation. So this mayor here is actually a so-called college-educated community activist and Southern black, and what he says is Christian socialist. Okay, those two things don't go together, by the way, right? None of that goes together. But this guy's claiming that he's this Christian socialist or whatever, and he was sworn in as mayor in January 2022 and has served the city council since 2017. So going on, this guy puts in his website here saying that he's America's first Black Lives Matter organizer elected to public office and is leading a generation of young activists to protest to politics. So then he says also on this website that he's on a mission to make America's blackest city black on purpose, which means a city that is not just unapologetic about its demographics, but moving on purpose to be a laboratory for economic housing, restorative justice policies aimed at improving the lives of African Americans. Now, according to the Census Bureau, the city is actually 92% black. Listen, this isn't going to work well, right? I mean, this guy is clearly out of his mind, basically claiming a bunch of things that don't go together at all, Christian socialists and everything like that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work at all with this guy. This guy's clearly doing something that was clearly up to no good. But the reality is that he's trying to pretend as if he can just do whatever he wants. The statements out of his mouth basically saying, hey, you wait till when my police officers get here, right? Thinking that they're going to be on his side. But notice, every single one of those police officers that arrested him and was escorting him out of that building was black, right? So who does he think this is? He thinks he's above the law, is what it is. And it's clearly not the case whatsoever. And he found out that situation very quickly. So he's saying as well that he thought it was abandoned, right? Now, where have we heard this before? Probably from drug dealers, probably from people that have bad behavior going on. What was this guy really doing is what I want to know. But the reality is that you can't run around disrespecting people's property rights just because you're the mayor, just because you were elected to some public office. And that's what's happening right now. These people are communists. They are people they're socialists. They react in this way. This is the way they behave, thinking that everything that's there is their own, and thinking that they're above the law for whatever the situation is. And the other funny part about this is that when the when the reporter actually asked them, are you guilty? Does that mean that you're guilty in this situation? And he says, well, that's up to the voters to decide. And it's like, wait a minute, that's not how that works, because it's up to a jury to decide who is actually guilty in this particular situation. Clearly, this guy doesn't know how the law works. I mean, it's very obvious here that he doesn't really care at all either. But for whatever he thinks, the voters are somehow going to have a verdict or say in whether or not he gets convicted of these charges or not. I don't understand how that works whatsoever. But let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think he was doing there? Was he there for drug-related reasons or something else? Let us know down in the comments. We're curious to see what you have to say about it as well. But just a reminder also to like the video, share the video, and also turn on notifications so that you get notified when the videos go live. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.